starting this session. In
It's on
fact,
now.
very good. Thank you, Misha.
Mhm.
And with me, I have our Misha Daniel. She'll be backing me up.
Hello.
And I'm Larry Snyder. And this session is talking about CK12 and Khan Academy. And then how can we use it with Google Classroom to support instruction? Now, with both resources, they have the ability to go ahead and create classes and all that. But could you imagine if our students had to log into a Khan Academy class? They had to log in to a CK12 class. Then they had 3 or 4 other things that they had to log into to get the resources. Well, that can get kind of complicated after a while. And what I like pushing is using Google Classroom as that conduit, the one way to get information to our students and make it as easy as possible for our students to just go back and take a look at what they need to do. And I also push that our parents know how to get into their Google Classrooms so that they're better informed. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let's see how fast it goes. Hopefully it's getting quick. It's been kind of slow all day today. And I'm going to go ahead. It seems to be doing good. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. It's starting to, I think. I think we're good. And so I'm going to go ahead and open up my Google Classes. And I created one just for this session. I want you to join it. The reason is I'm going to take resources from, let's say, CK12, from Khan Academy, and I want you to see how it would be used using Google Classroom because they work really well together. So I'm going to open up CK12 and Khan Academy, and I'm going to put a code up. Please, after you do this course, you want to go back and take a look at it for a day or so, that's fine, and then archive it, get it out of the way. But I just want you to see the process and how it works. So open up a new tab at the top, go to Google Classroom, and put in the code UN4LGQQ. It is right now 2:33. Let's give it 2 minutes. That way everybody could join the class. And I want you to see how it works. And then I'm going to have you go to the Meet side to see how the resources work. And then I'm going to go ahead and then share the resources to your Google Classroom. Then you might have a third tab open like CK12 or Khan Academy. That way you can see the resource also. So you're going to be bouncing in and out. Again, if you're in the Google Classroom, you're putting in the code. The code is UN4LGQQ. And the letters are all lowercase. UN4LGQQ. In about a minute, we'll get this party started. Just using Google Classroom, you can just going to see the power of how it all just connects. That synergy of it just works.
We are taking attendance through the Google Meet attendance, and we are also recording this, so we will be getting all of the chat. So we should get everybody.
And the nice thing is we have the Google Classroom that you join. We'll see your name on it also. All right, so we are ready to go. It's 2:35. And this is the classroom that you're in. Let me go into the people, just see what the numbers look like. Very good. Thank you so much for joining this class. Now, the first section I want to go over is Khan Academy. So I'm going to go ahead and click in. I'm going to type in Khan. And I kind of, it's khanacademy.org. It is located in Clever. And you as a teacher can log in, you as and our students can log in through that. And it will automatically build your course, your classes, and roster your students. And of course, the first week or two of school, it might not be as accurate, but as our schedules start to clean up, it will be there. But I just want you to be careful though, because I don't want you to use Khan Academy on the class side. So let's take a look at what Khan Academy and how it works. So let's say I'm going to go into courses. Inside of courses, I want you to take a look at all that it offers. On the math side, it has early math, arithmetic, all the way down to linear algebra, differential equations, multivariable calculus, AP statistics, AP calculus BC, AP calculus AB, statistics and probability, pre-cal, geometry, trig, algebra 2, geometry, algebra 1. And then it also breaks down the math by grade levels to make it easier. And then it also has math by elementary grade levels. No, this is not just high school, middle school. This also has for elementary. And then we have Khan Kids between 2 and 7. Math, reading, social, emotional learning. So this even has for our little guys. And then it goes down to science. We have physics, AP Physics 1, AP Physics 2. It goes all the way down into electrical engineering, health, and medicine. It also has computer and technology, computer programming, computer science, AP computer science, hour of code, computer animation. We have U.S. history and the arts and humanity. We have AP U.S. history, world history project origins. And notice it says beta. That means they're working on it. We have AP world history, U.S. government and civics, AP U.S. government and politics, art history, AP art history, grammar, storytelling. I want you to notice it is kind of weak in the language arts. And it goes the same with CK12, because when it was originally built, it was designed more in the STEM. But what's happening is it's starting to pull in everything else little by little. And we will take a look at the grammar. It also is starting to have in the beta section a reading for 2nd grade through 9th grade. College and careers, college admissions, personal finance, entrepreneurship, growth mindset. The point is, it has a lot to offer. So let's take a look. Let's jump in to, let's pick 5th grade, math by grade. So when I click on it, it's going to open up. It's not really a textbook, but it's kind of like a group of resources that we can work, and is broken up by categories. So let's say we're starting off the year. And here I have the different areas. Now notice a course summary. I have decimal place value. I can add decimals, subtract decimals, add and subtract fractions, multi-digit multiplication, and I can go down and down and down. But let's say we're working with add and subtracting fractions right now. So I click on add and subtract fractions. It takes you into that area right here. And here we have strategies for adding and subtracting fractions with the unlike denominators. When you log in to Khan Academy, when you go to Clever, it's just going to log you in. But if you go directly to the site, make sure you use your Google account, because with your Google account comes your Google Classroom. When your students get on, they're getting on with their Google account automatically through Clever, so that's where the tie-in happens. But the good thing is, you as a teacher, once you find those resources, you're going to use Google Classroom. So let's say we're talking about strategies for adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. So I click it. and then it breaks it up. And notice here that you have these videos. Then you have the practice. And then you have the practice over here. So let's say we're going to take a look at this video section. So when I click on it, I'm going to let it open.
With a common denominator, we just have to think of a common multiple.
Oh, there's Khan's voice. And notice how he's going to draw and explain. And I hope you've heard the story of Khan Academy where he was trying to work with a cousin that's not close to him. So he created these videos and became very well known. And notice how I have the video. Next video, go to lesson page. So this lesson, this video is part of a page. So when I click on go to lesson page and let it open, this comes up. And you have the video right up to the front. As I scroll down, notice it has questions. These are people that are asking questions to Khan and his team, and then they reply. So they might have support here. Then you have tips and things. And there's thank you or some of the ideas that works for students. How many times have we heard a student, I did it this way and it worked for me? Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad. But this is where students would put that. And the good thing is it's monitored. And here's how we link it up. So if I want to share this with you, my students, I can go to Google Classroom here, and I'm going to get the Google login page. Basically, I've already logged in, so it went directly in. So I'm going to give it to you as an assignment. And I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click CK12 and Khan Academy. Choose action. I'm going to make it an assignment. And I hit go. And notice when I go in, and I want you to see this carefully. Notice I have the title, and it'll tell you to describe the assignment in detail. Because of time, I'm not going to do that. But it then gives you the link, and then tells you what it's worth. But notice the topic. I'm going to put this ad for Khan Academy. But I also want you to notice at the top, this is our CK12 Khan Academy page. When I click on it here, notice what you get. When I have checkmark all students, it goes to everybody in the class. But if I take this off, then I can specifically give this to those students that need this support. Maybe I've done this lesson already. Maybe I've gone over, but poor Johnny is just not getting it. So I would select those students that would need it. What if it's the opposite? What if there's a group of students that are doing real well, and I find on the coding side something that ties into with fractions, and then I assign it to my GT students. Now I'm going to give it to all of you. That way you can see it. So when I click in, I go all the way down. Okay, we're good. Let me open this up just a bit. And right up here, I have assign. Notice if I go ahead and click the disclosure arrow, it also gives me options to schedule it or save it as a draft for future. So I'm going to hit assign. And now I'm just going to go to view. And now when you go into your classwork here, or you go in your stream, you're going to see that assignment that is assigned to you. Now jump out, go to your Google Classroom, and I want you to go and take a look at that video. Just see a couple of seconds of it. I just want you to see what it's like in Google Classroom. So go ahead and take a look real quick. It's 2:45. We're going to go to 2:46. So let's go. Okay, go into the Google Classroom. Oh, look at the stream. You're going to see where it says Khan Academy. And there you go. You have it. All right, I think you had the opportunity. You don't have to watch the whole video, but you get the idea. Did you see how nice it worked with Google Classroom? So I'm going to go back into my Khan Academy. And here I have the different videos and sections as I go down. Notice the next one is visually subtracting fractions. When I click on it, it's going to take me to that section. Again, it's that video. Again, I have that Google Classroom. Now, let's take a look at a practice. Visually add and subtract fractions. Notice as it goes down, it's the third one in this section. So when I click on it, here we have visually, so they show you. And I want you to think it kind of like a self-practice. Notice how the students will answer the question. They see it here. And if they're stuck, they can go back and watch a video, get a hint. They have 4 problems. Think of this as like a self-check. I want to see if I understand it. So notice if I go back up to Google Classroom again, click on it. Once it loads, click the arrow down, pick my CK12 Khan Academy. You're in my class. Choose action. Create assignment. I'm going to hit go. And I'm just going to call it, say, take self. Oh, yeah, Larry. Let me fix it. Double missed that S. Okay. There you go. And notice again, it has the link. All students. I still have the opportunity. Who am I going to give it to? All, some, most. Click that arrow down. I can make that choice, but I want you to see it. So we're going to go all students. I'm going to hit assign. Did I miss something? Oh, I have 0 students. I want it with all students. Hello, Larry. Now I hit assign. Now let's go back again. Go to your Google Classroom and take a look. Take this quick self-assessment, answer 1 or 2. I just want you to go through it. Right now it's 249. Let's go to 250. Misha, are we getting any questions so far?
One of the questions is, does it have world languages, videos, tutorials as well? And I said I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we're going to go back to the courses right now after this, okay. And let's take a look. All right, there you go. I hope you had enough time just to take a look real quick. And when I go back to courses, this was a math course. This was a 5th grade math. But let's go back to courses. And notice what we do have. If I go jump out, let me go ahead and see if I can get that out. Give it a moment. I'm going to go back into courses. And there, I don't want to check, but let's take a look and just jump it out. It's not going to let me go. Let's go back in courses one more time. I'm sure it's going to show it. And here I have, let's see, it's not letting me get out, but that's all right. Notice at the top I have my math. Then I have by courses, math grade. Then this is math. It goes all the way down. Where it comes up, Con Kids, this is different. It's math, reading, and social emotional learning. Then you have the science and the engineering. Arts and humanities is where you would start to look. It does have grammar and storytelling. It has economics, finance. But on the world languages, I don't see it. It has test prep on it. So no, it does not, and I apologize. But keep jumping back and looking because they're adding more and more. This whole section right here in reading is a brand new section. So keep that in mind. It's coming. There's a lot more coming. Let's take a look at grammar. There's another one. I'm going to click on grammar. Give it a minute to load. And when you go in, it's the same idea. You have your parts of speech, introduction to nouns, types of nouns, irregular plural nouns. And so it's not like a 7th grade English course. It's not like an English 3 course. It's all about grammar. And if I'm an English teacher, upper grade, junior, senior, and I see issues with grammar, I might use it. If I am in the lower grades and I see a student struggling in an area or just learning for the first time, I might go ahead and use it also. So let's take a look at introduction to nouns. So I click again. And notice here I have the videos, introduction to noun.
A living thing. Place. Hello, grammarians. Welcome to the English parts of speech. We're going to begin with the noun. Oh, the lovely, wonderful noun. Your friend and mine. They're most.
Now, notice I don't have any section here for Google Classroom. To get to Google Classroom, I'm going to go to the lesson page. And this is where it takes me, where I have Google Classroom. Okay. Here's the transcript. And you can actually go into that section. But for such a short video, maybe not. On the longer ones, maybe. But I'm going to go about. And here we have the Google Classroom again. I click on Google Classroom. Same way. I'm not going to have you go take a look, but you get the idea. I'm going to go ahead and click loading. Pick CK12 Con. I'm going to hit go. Select action, excuse me, create assignment. Hit go. I'm not going to go through any part. Again, I could give to all students or partial. I'm going to hit assign. And that's how easy it is. So it's finding those resources that work. And here we have two videos. Here's a practice identifying nouns. So I click on it. Now, here's something about the practice component. If you wanted to, what if we put it on an interactive board and we do it as a class? I'm not sure about this one, but what if? I mean, it would work. And so I can just have this, copy that link, or just put it up on the screen, and I can use it on the interactive board where the students come up and answer. Or I can assign it through Google Classroom, to my students. They watch the video, then I go ahead and assign it, go to Google Classroom, share to class, same process. It's not difficult. The part that you want to do is go through the courses, what it offers, and see, is this something I want to use right now? So I hit assign, and now you have it in your Google Classroom. Again, let's go back into the introduction. Then I'm going to go to courses because I didn't want that bar in the bottom. It's just got in the way. So I'm going to go into courses. Excuse me. And there you have it. If you're a biology teacher, high school biology, I go into science engineering and there's biology. If I'm doing physics, there's physics. If I'm in art history, I have world history, US history. I go into on the math side. There's just so much out there. But what I want you to do is keep looking. If you don't see exactly what you want, keep looking because more and more is coming. Again, this is brand new. The ELA beta for reading. If I click on it, let's take a look. Let's go with 9th grade reading. Building knowledge, learn by topic, social psychology. Borders reading poetry, mending wall. Okay, let's take a look at it. Reading to practice. Okay, show us what we can do. 4 questions. Go to lesson page. And there you go. So they have a reading section, and then they answer and move on. So do look. It's kind of like finding that one gem, that one thing that's going to change Johnny, where he's going to understand it. That's what you're looking for, is that gem. So that's Khan Academy. Let's take a look at CK12. Now, CK12 is a different beast. It is free textbooks. There is no add-on. There's no pay part to it. And the same way, like Khan Academy, you can go through Clever. So let's go in, and I'm going to type in CK12. And it's ck12.org. Again, your students can go through Clever, or you can go directly. If you go directly, make sure that you use your Google account, because that's where your Google classes are located. And going to the main page, when you first log in, it might ask you, what do you teach? And you're going to select, let's say, biology, physics, or math, elementary. You pick, and it's going to try to give you a textbook. But you're not committed to just that textbook. Now, as I'm here, I want you to notice in the bottom left corner, it's a webinar that they have. And they added these little flexlets. It's kind of like little mini teaching to keep our students going over the summer. And just like Khan Academy, it will build your classes. But again, we don't want you to confuse your students, have them go to CK12 for this, have them go to Khan for that, have them do this, go there. They're already confused enough. So let's take a look. First off, here are the subjects. I'm going to open it up. Again, when it was designed, it was started off with STEM. And so this is the new, the summer flexlets. It has math by grade level, and math by subject. Then you have science. Here's the grade level, K5, and then it goes down to earth science, life science, all the way up to physics. It does have English writing and spelling. Excuse me. Then you have social studies. You have economics, geography, government. You have history, philosophy, and sociology. And then it has more. It has astronomy, engineering, health, photography, and technology. And then here we have on the college side, college algebra, college pre-calculus, college human biology, and the universe. Look at the country, Chile, Brazil, India. I want to click on Chile. When it comes up. And then here we have books that are from Chile in Spanish. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to click back. Brazil is the same way. India is the same way. Then you have different translations of books. So let's say I have a Spanish student that just came in from Mexico and is focusing on Spanish. So if I click on Spanish, and then it'll show you the textbooks that they have that are in Spanish. Okay, so keep that in mind. Notice how you have Spanish, you'll select your subject area, and then it would break it down. And then by grade. I'm going to go back to subjects. And let's take a look. Let's say I am going to do Algebra 1, Algebra 1 teacher. I click on Algebra 1. I don't know if we have anybody that teaches advanced math. And you know how in middle school you do the combination of Algebra 1 and 8th grade? Well, here, there's nothing stopping you from having both books and your students having access to both books. Now, here is the book itself that I have. Notice this arrow down. Insert the arrow. So I click on it, and I have a sign. If I want to give it to a class, this is not the way to do it, though. Remember, we're going to use Google Classroom. Excuse me. But I can add it to my library. This is magic, because once it's in my library, I click on Add Library, and it's been added to my library. Okay, that's cool. All right, well, what does that mean? If I go back to my home screen, excuse me, and I go into my library, these are books that I grabbed. These are books that are now mine. So when I click on it, and here's the one that I have. Notice I can open up the book by just clicking in the link. Notice the 3 dots. That's going to archive it. When I open this up, it opens up the textbook. Here's what's interesting is, now that it's in yours, I can go ahead and I can change it. I can make this mine. At any time, if I want to give the entire textbook to a class, don't do it, but you can. Notice this paper airplane down here. When I click on that paper airplane, it opens up and then looks. I can give this textbook in Google Classroom and assign it to my students. They get the entire textbook. But then it's like, well, what section do I need to do now? What do I need to work on now? Well, if I go and do it differently, instead of, I'm going to take a look at functions. This is something I'm working now with my students. When I click on functions, it opens up, and now I want to find that area that I'm working on. And let's go with defining functions. So I click and open it. And this is a textbook, but it's beyond that. It has videos to it. It has interactive pages that goes to it. And notice when I go into this page, this section, I can do different things. I can take them to a web page called Growing Kids. When I click on it, and it ties to this a part of the algebra. So I click on it, and here it says Growing Kids, Real World Applications, Algebra 1. How many times for my algebra teachers or anybody, and the student says, when am I ever going to use this? It doesn't make sense to them. So they don't take it seriously. Misha, I think you had that experience, didn't you?
I sure did. Both of my kids were like, I'm never going to use this stuff.
And you know what? That's how they think. But there's so much more to algebra than there is stuff that we use all the time. And here's an example, a real world application. And so we're taking a look at it. Most doctors agree that the normal growth rate for children at the age of 2 is about 2.5 inches. And so they can start talking about it. And for us as parents, how many times have we taken to the doctor, they pull the chart out and they kind of figure out, okay, how tall is your child going to be possibly in the future by that chart, right? All of us. I had one boy that the doctor got so excited to pull it out because there was a good chance he was going to hit 7 feet. But the thing is, it ties in algebra to them. And so here it is. They have it, resource cited. Here's the information. Here's the link. They could take a look at it. And I want to assign it. I click here. Be careful with this, though. Sometimes they want to put it into your CK12 class. But if I click on it, sometimes it gives you the option. Let's go here. Let it load. All right. I click Assign to Class, and look what's right here, Google Classroom. And so now you go through the practice part, and then you give them the real world connection, and it makes sense. You might be using your textbook that you have already with McGraw-Hill. This is the add-on. This is the other thing. This might be the hook. So I'm going to go ahead, hit Google Classroom, connect to Google Classroom. I'm going to go over, and it's just like Khan Academy. I'm going to go ahead and click on William Snyder. And this looks different. And notice how I'm going to put it in CK12. I'm going to put in the date. Let's put it in for, let's do the, I don't like doing it the next day. Even though this make-believe, it's still hard for me to do it. I'm going to put on the 6th. And I'm going to hit Assign to Classroom. Here I put the instructions. Here I sit, Assign to Classroom. You have successfully assigned it to you. So you have it now. So I click OK. And now I just assign this to you. Now, notice up here where it says Practice Function Notation. When I click on it, assign the practice, so I can hit Preview first. I want to take a look at it. Okay, it has 10 questions. Start practicing. And what this does, it's like that self-assessment again, where they put in the information, they can enter the answer, it gives them the hints, and it has a scratch pad. Kind of resembles a little bit of our online testing. You want to give them a little bit of practice on how to do this? All right, okay, so they can check their answers, stop for now. How do I sign this? I don't see Google Classroom right up here. I click on it, edit copy, and I'm going to go into, and let's go into classwork. I'm going to hit create. I'm going to do an assignment. It's a little bit different. So I'm going to click on CK12. I'm going to go practice notations. Self-assessment or self-practice. Now right here, you see where it says add? So I click on it. I'm going to click add link. Right click, paste, and then I add the link. So now you have that link to click in to go to CK12, to that assignment. So this is a practice CK12 function foundation. Do I want to give it to all students? I still have this same way where I can differentiate. I can give it to all, or I can give it to some. I jump out. I'm going to hit assign. I want to give it to everybody so that way you can see it, and hit assign. So this is very powerful. Again, it goes back to finding the gems, finding those things that support instruction in your class. Because Johnny might not get it the way that Maria gets it. But Johnny might get it this way from CK12 that he did not get it from the McGraw-Hill. But Maria might get it better going through Khan Academy. So let's go back to CK12 again. I'm back here. I'm going to go back. And I'm going to go to practice. Jump out. I'm going to go back into subjects. I could go to my library because the biology book is there. And here's my biology book. And it really is a good idea to put it into your library, because if you get to that point where you start to modify the textbook, edit the textbook, and make it yours, it's going to become something that is specific for what your needs are. And I'm going to show you a textbook in just a moment that another district created. But let's take a look. Let's say we are working and I want to assign something in genetics. It's the same one that I use all the time. It's a Plex. A Plex is an interactive page that you can use. So I'm going to go into genetics. I'm going to zip it down. And I'm going to do pea plants. And in here, I have, if I wanted to, I want you to notice the type of resources that I have here. Here I have the textbooks. And the textbook takes me to the textbook directly. So when I click on it, it's going to take me to that section of the textbook. And basically, it's a textbook. Here it is. Here's the links. Here it talks about the different types of characteristics in the Mendel. And it's all there. At the top, notice the three dots. If I click on it, I can download it. I can add it to the library, this section. I can share with classes. If I hit share with classes here, notice how it only has my CK12. There's a workaround. If I go to the top, I get the link and I go back into Google Classroom, and then that's the way I can assign it. I'm going to close that out. So that's the textbook, the guide. Here I have a video of peas getting overly acquainted. And here's to understand genetics. So if I want to share that, I click on it. And then here's that video. And some of these videos are in YouTube, some of them are not. Notice up at the top here, I don't see the assign. Here it goes back to the book, table of contents. But if I click on assign here, I'm hoping it says Google Classroom. If it doesn't, then what do? I use the link. I'm going to let it load. Okay, here it is. Now, here it says assign to a class. Most of the time, that's going to make it where it's either CK12 or Google Classroom. A lot of times I see it just in CK12. When I hit share with classes, then it's the opposite. No rhyme or reason, but just check both. Here's a Google Classroom. And I can go ahead and select CK12. Now here's where I would go up to the top. Here's where I would put the instructions. Here's the title. Let's go ahead and click in. I can't do it till tomorrow. I'm going to have to go into July. Let's go to July 3rd, and I assign to classroom. If I need to edit, I would go back to the Google Classroom. Then I can edit that one. But now I gave it to you to take a look at. Let's jump out. Here I have the pea plants again. And I want to go back out. I'm going to go back one. I don't think that's it. Yeah, that's my other. I'm going to go back one more. And let's say I want to do an interactive. This is a link to Monks and Peas. I'm going to go open up this interactive, blended inheritance. Play, learn, interact, and explore. That's Plex. But basically, it's an interactive web page. And from here, I have an interactive side where I get, okay, if I have a wrinkled plant, pea and a round, what would the two happen if we blend them together? And if they've read the information, they should be able to pick and drag it up. Let's go with light purple. I'm going to accidentally just guess. And then let's go with medium. I'm wrong on, I think, all three, actually. And then if I click it over, and there it is. There's my answers. All right, that's cool. That's kind of a self-assessment. Here you have to challenge me. Where here they give you what was the blended outcome for the plant height trait. So you have the plant height trait, you pick in, what's the answer, and then you click in. If the student is not getting it, what they can do you want to reset the Plex? I'm going to put yes. But notice what they can do. In clicking the Learn More, it takes them to the page that they can reread, go over, and then figure out, okay, this is where I went wrong. This is where I want to give this to my class because I'm getting ready for a quiz and I want them to go through this. So I'm going to hit Assign to Class. Blended Inheritance. Here's the instructions I would put in. Okay, Google Classroom. I'm going to go into CK12. Again, I'm going to go into by Friday and assign to classroom. Now, here's the challenging part, is that we have to find out which resources works best for our students. And that's what makes us professionals. That's what makes us different than someone just doing a job, whatever it is, but we have to really think it through and prescribe what the students need to be successful. And that's what makes a teacher amazing. Now, I've assigned quite a bit. Let's go back and take a look at that Google Classroom. I'm going to jump back out. And here, I want you to notice that the con is up here that I assigned, but the CK12, they're not in the right spots. So let's take a look. This Khan Academy ones. If I click on it here, I have the option to edit. So when I click on edit, I can go ahead and put it in the correct category. Notice up here I have all students. I can specifically give it to the students I wanted to or not, and then I hit save. So now it goes back to the Khan Academy where it should have been. Let's say we were going to work on that blending inheritance, that one that we just did. So if I click on it, I have it assigned. I'm going to click up here, and I'm going to edit. From here, because you remember how in CK12 really didn't give us that much in how to set it up. It just, okay, you put in the class, you put the due date. But now I can select my students that I want it for. I can go down. I can change the date if I wanted to. I can put in the correct topic area, CK12, and then I hit save. So yes, what I'm basically saying is you have the ways of getting into Google Classroom, but you might need to go back to Google Classroom to tweak it, to make it right. So now go back and take a look at the Google Classroom. Take a look as a student what it looks like, how you can go to Classroom, you can click on the category, and you can go through the lessons. And let's just take a few minutes. It's 7:22 now. Let's go to 7:25. So jump out, go to CK12, go to the Khan Academy class that I built in Google Classroom, and look at it as a student. It's 3:22 right now. We're going to go and we'll meet back together on the Meet at 3:25. Don't close it. It's too short of time. Misha, how are we doing in questions?
We're doing just fine.
Oh,
I've answered a couple about Snap and Read and different things like that. I was just going to remind you on the time, but okay. you caught yourself, so we're good.
Very
in just
good.
A couple of minutes, I will put the link in for the bit.ly so people can get their badge and their certificate.
Awesome. Doesn't time go fast?
Time, it just flies.
It's crazy. These little mini Monday sessions, I love them. And I think that's why they're so special is it's just short, to the point, quick. You're in, you're out, you're good.
And Snap and Read is an online reader that we all have access to. It is in our extensions, and you can click on it and it can read websites to kids. It can also help you to annotate and read PDFs. It looks like a little target up in your extensions. It probably will have a red dot next to it because it's not on right now. Just a heads up, because that question just came up since I said Snap and Read.
Very good.
We're getting some props for the mini sessions, Larry, the mini Monday sessions. People love them.
Oh, that's so good.
Yes.
I'm going to sign in actually to Snap and Read. I think I'm going to go ahead and I think we have enough time to go through it. I'm hoping.
While that's loading up, I'm going to go ahead and put the bit.ly in here, just so they can get to it if they need to. We're down to about 5 minutes, so.
Very good. Thank you so much.
More videos are coming, by the way. I've just been super busy with about 800 other things, but I'm going to get back to my video making very, very shortly.
All right. Now it's 3:25. Go back to the Meet site so you can take a look at my page. What I wanted to show you is what Misha was talking about, Snap and Read. And Snap and Read is an extension that you have in the top. It looks kind of like a target. And when you click on it, here, it might ask you to log in. If it does, log in with your district account. Now, when I go in, I have this web page. This came from CK12. And I have a student that's struggling to read this, and it's going to read it to them. I'm going to go ahead and jack up my volume. I've not done this in a meet. I'm kind of curious. It should work. Sometimes it's slow. But when I click on it here, it gives me these crosshairs. And what it wants to know is, what is the text you want to read? So I'm going to click on Growing Kids, and I'm going to zoom it out to right here. And once I have it, I let go. And then in a moment, what's going to happen is, and I'm hoping it's quick, it's going to take a look at the text and read it to me. So when I let it go, and I'm hoping it's quick, but I know we had the meet with a large group, so I'm kind of curious how long it's going to take.
Growing Kids explore FX notation for functions, real-world applications, algebra topic. How can we represent a kid's growing height as a linear relationship? Student exploration. Most doctors agree that the normal growth rate for children after the age of 2 is about 2% inches or 6 centimeters per year until adolescence. Let's represent this as a linear relationship using inches.
That's Snap and Read. And you can go into the settings and change speed a little bit. But basically, that's Snap and Read. It's not going to give it to you in real world kind of a feel. It's kind of like, it's very, sounds like a computer. But sometimes that's all our child needs, is just the little bit. Snap and Read also allows you to open up a PDF and annotate over that. That's why you see this here. It's not working on here because this is not a PDF. But it has that capability. So if you have a PDF that you find in one of your textbooks online, you put it into the Google Classroom, you make a copy for each student, of course, and then they can go ahead and put the text box to make the answers. It sounds like we need to do a mini Monday on this. What do you think?
I'm kind of thinking so, yeah.
All right, so we'll get
Great
Shelley on that.
Yes.
It's right now 3:28. I cannot believe this time went so fast. I'm going to close this window out. I'm going to join back into the meet, and I'm going to unshare. Am I not presenting, Misha?
No, you've been presenting.
Okay, so let me click it. Okay.
I know it was kind of, is it kind of slow again? It was slow for me earlier. So
Yeah,
I think it's the same issue.
Okay, very good. Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. This is our last mini Monday session for today.
For today.
We have another set coming next Monday.